What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for joining me today on our very first episode of Wing and Tail Outdoors. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to be sharing with you all the insights of our channel, a little bit of an overview of what the channel is all about, different things that you can expect to find as you come and join us weekly as these videos release. Our primary focus is going to be hunting related, specifically deer hunting and upland bird hunting, a little bit of bear hunting here or there, and some fishing and also some land management practices. To start, I would like to introduce myself, a little bit of who I am and what I do. By career, I am a teacher. I'm a middle school math teacher. I teach 7th grade in New Jersey, and I've been doing it for about 5 years. I just recently took a class up in Syracuse, New York, and I got myself my pesticide license, specifically in a forest setting, so that way I can go into the woods and I can help take care of these invasive species or these non-desirables. I can go in and kill them, or treat them, or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to be sharing those things with you as well as we go. I've been hunting pretty much my whole life. I started when I was about 10 years old, bird hunting, got into bow hunting around 16, shotgun for deer around 15. And it's kind of just progressed from there. But to be honest with you, I never really took it seriously until about 2 or 3 years ago. My dad was kind enough to purchase a piece of property for our family. It's about 130 acres, and that's going to be the basis of what this channel is going to be working with. I will definitely be showing you some properties and some work that I do on other properties for those invasive species control. But for the most part, we're going to be working on my property and a friend of mine's, Kevin's, who is also a part of this channel, and we're going to be showing you the different things that we're doing on our properties to help improve wildlife habitat, to grow our deer population, as well as grouse and whatever else you may want to do, or whatever it is that we're doing. And like I said, I didn't really take hunting seriously from the very beginning, so I haven't really had super success. But ever since getting this property, I've really kind of dug my feet in. I've been doing some scouting, and I really want to get proficient at my trade, so I want to bring you along for the ride. As far as archery is concerned, I've been shooting, like I said, I've been shooting my bow probably since I was about 16 years old. And I just recently switched over to a thumb release, and I just recently kind of got serious about it. So again, I'm going to be bringing you along for the ride, and we're going to touch on that again in a little bit. Before I go any further, I really want to acknowledge the people who really make this possible. There's no way that one person can get this all done, and there are definitely some people behind the scenes who may or may not find their way onto camera, but they're definitely a part of this, and a huge part of this, and this couldn't be possible without them. That would be my brother Anthony, my other brother John, my cousins Angelo, Daniel, and Joey, and my buddy Adam. Anthony, Angelo, Daniel, and Joey, they all live in New Jersey with me currently, and so does Kevin. And Adam lives up in New Hampshire with John. So we're kind of gonna be spreading this out a little bit. We're gonna be showing you some videos, some content from New York. We're gonna be showing you some content from New Jersey. I'm looking to move into Pennsylvania soon, so I'll be showing you some content from there. And we'll be getting some content sent down from New Hampshire. So you're gonna get a nice roundabout view of what it is that we're doing as a group. Now, moving forward, I want to kind of talk to you about the mission statement, or the goal of what our channel is all about. We want to really be the one-stop shop for all things hunting, for all things food plots, for all things land management, but we want to do it in a little bit of a different way than what we've been seeing out there. A lot of content that you see on YouTube is fantastic. Guys know what they're talking about, and ladies know what they're talking about. But what I've noticed a lot of times is that the videos that are on YouTube right now, or the content that's out there, shows pieces of the process. And for myself, starting out, I found it very difficult to follow the process, not having a total picture of what it was all about. So I want this to be a place where you can follow us transitioning this property from day 1 to day N, and we've had this property this is our 3rd year owning it. This is our 3rd summer having it, and we're just now really getting serious about the land management. We're getting serious about food plotting, growing our herd, allowing the mature deer to grow and become mature, I should say, allowing our deer to become mature. And I want to bring you along for the ride in doing all that. So that way you could see that process from beginning to end. And there's really, hopefully, my goal is to not have any gaps in there in the middle. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm knocking anyone on YouTube, because let's be honest, if it wasn't for the content that's out there, I probably wouldn't have the knowledge that I have right now. And they're fantastic. Honestly, the stuff that's out there is great. I just want to kind of give everybody one place where you can go and find everything you need. And, you know, to put in perspective, my goal is for you to watch, for example, a video on spring planting. And let's say it is the liming process. I want to show you everything from beginning to end, how I spread the lime, how I put it into the soil, whatever the case may be. When it comes to seeding, I want you to see how I spend the entire day, because I'm kind of taking the information that I've learned from other people and kind of tailoring it to what I'm capable of doing, as well as what my property allows me to do. So you can kind of see how I alter some of those things that are out there already and allow the process to work for me and to gain success in what it is that we're doing. Also, a lot of these shows or this content that's out there, they have these machines or this expensive equipment. Don't get me wrong, we have some equipment. We have a UTV, we have a lower end disc, we have a spreader that you could tow behind, which quite frankly I'm not crazy about. But we don't have a tractor, we don't have a seed drill, we don't have a cultipacker, we don't have a crimper. So we're finding roundabouts, so to speak, ways to get those same results, but in a little bit of a different way, which I think a lot of people out there can relate to. I think there's a lot of people out there that either don't have the funds or don't want to spend the money on this expensive equipment. And I want to show you that you can still obtain success if you are willing to get out there and do the work. Lastly, I want to give you some things that you can look forward to coming in the near future. To be honest with you, I've already recorded some things, and I already know, like for example, I have a few different episodes ready to go for the spring planting, and I know at this point we're a little past that spring planting. Unfortunately, I didn't get the timing right to get this all going, but at least it'll be there for you when next spring comes. And very soon we're also going to be putting up our fall food plot information, so be ready for that to come out. One of the things we're going to be talking about is scouting and reading deer sign. It is probably the most important aspect to your hunting, because without having information, there's no way you could put yourself in the right spot to be successful. So scouting and reading deer sign is a great way to set yourself up for success as a hunter. We're going to be talking about designing hunting properties. And what I mean by designing hunting properties, I mean laying them out the way that you want them and the way that will work for you. For example, the way we're setting up our property right now is we're looking to have most of our bedding on one side of the property and most of our food on the other. So the deer have to transition through the property, the long way I should say, rather than just slipping across the property the short way, getting a quick bite to eat and leaving. We're going to be talking about planning, creating, and implementing food plots in the spirit of no-till. After the research that I've done and the information I've gathered, I am a firm believer in the no-till system. Looking back, hundreds of years ago, crops have been grown for thousands of years, and fertilizer was only invented, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, back in the 1940s. So there were thousands of years of successful agriculture, if you will, without the use of fertilizer. So I firmly believe that it can work, and I believe that it's the best thing for the soil. And the less that you can disturb the soil, the better it's going to be for the plants, the microorganisms, and everything in between. Now, I will say that we've gone ahead and made an executive decision to disc our lime into our food plots the very first time that we put it down. And that doesn't come easily. That just comes from the experience that we've had over the last few years. Before this summer, we had dropped over, or right around 5,000 pounds of lime over our acre. And it had only called for, I would say, like 3,000 pounds of lime, and we just weren't getting that pH correction that we were looking for. But before this year, we were just opening the bags and spreading it over the top. So what we decided this year is to disc it in and see how it affects the soil and what the results are. And then after that first liming and disking, to never touch it with a disc again. And the trade-off I'm looking at here is the faster you get the pH level up, the faster stuff will grow, and the faster you have stuff growing, then the faster you can get the no-till regenerative stuff going on. So that's kind of what it is that we're trying to do here. Moving on, Kevin, who is kind of running this channel with me, or will be running this channel with me, he shoots competitive archery for the USA Hornets, and he's very, very knowledgeable when it comes to archery and hunting. And he's kind of going to be our main guy who's going to be helping you out with archery mechanics and techniques and fixing your shot and help you to be as effective as you can with your bow and arrow moving forward. Because let's be honest, if we're shooting at an animal with a beating heart, something that's living, and our goal is to stop that, then you owe it to that animal to be as proficient with your firearm as possible and to make the best shot that you possibly can. So that's one of the things that we're really going to be focusing on this channel as well. Last but not least, as we go, we're going to be sharing the different gear that we use, both, for hunting, for filming, for food plotting, for land management, whatever the case may be. We're going to go ahead and share that stuff with you, so that those of you who are at home who are interested in doing this stuff, you know what we're using and what can be effective if it's something that's feasible for you. And we're going to be covering a whole lot more. Like I said earlier, there's just no way that we can touch on everything. So that just about wraps it up for us today. I want to thank you so much for making it to the end of the video and joining us today. And remember, success is just a commitment away. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you next week.